Okay, welcome to this A.L. Basham, Section 26, A-Level Buddhism Anthology and Analysis. Let's read it. The transformation body displays with skill birth, enlightenment, and nirvana, for it possesses much magic power to lead men to enlightenment. The body of the Buddhas is wholly comprised of these three bodies. In basis, tendency, and act, they are uniform. They are stable by nature and persistent by connection. Commentary. The three bodies are one and the same for all the Buddhas. The three reasons basis for the basis of phenomena is indivisible tendency, because there is no tendency particular to one Buddha and not to another, and act, because their actions are common to all. And the three bodies have threefold stability by nature. The body of essence is essentially stable by persistence. The body of bliss experiences phenomena unceasingly. And connection, for the transformation body once again has passed away, shows it metamorphizes again and again. Well, what's going on here? Let's think about this. What is the great trick pulled off by Mahayana thinkers here in the Maha Sutra Lankara, this text, when it says the transformation body displays skill, birth, enlightenment, and nirvana, for it possesses much magic power to lead men to enlightenment. That's interesting. Magic power. It's a reference. Basham here is exploring, by way of quoting, Shanti Deva, who himself is quoting this Maha Sutra Lankara, a very important but very late, and that's significant, late Mahayana Sutra. Again, Basham is kind of pursuing this history of texts, history of writings that reflects the language and therefore the changes in belief of Mahayana. What is the great trick? The historical Buddha is not, as Theravada say, dead and gone in pari-nirvana. He yet lives. He is in the, as the Pali Canon says, and it's not just a metaphor, the Tusita heaven first, and he exists there first, and he's returned there. There is a heavenly realm, a bliss body, and as Sambhakaya. His transformation into the teaching Shakyamuni, he's denoted as Shakyamuni Buddha because there's many Buddhas, is meaning the sage of the Shakya tribe, is only one of many appearances of Buddha, as in the ultimate truth. The transformations past and future of the Buddha, historical Buddha, and others, but it was all skill in means, upaya. This is fascinating. Did the Buddha even need to become enlightened? No, it was all for our benefit. It was one great play, upaya, for our good. And Mahayana claim he merely play acted much of his life for the benefit of those who cannot accept his deeper teachings. There you go, reflecting the Lotus Sutra stuff. So what then are the three bodies? Well, we've done a bit of this. We know it really. The body of the Buddhas is wholly comprised of these three bodies. The Trikiya bodies, the transformation body, the everyday world, the Nirmanakaya, in other words, the bliss body or the heavenly world, the Sambhakaya. Kaya means body, remember, and then the truth body, the Dharmakaya body of the ultimate truth. It reflects the deeper conventional and ultimate idea of truth. Which came first, we might ask, the Trikiya or Buddha nature? Well, it's interesting what it says here. In basis, tendency, and act, they are uniform. That uniform is, I think they developed simultaneously. The Buddha Nature Sutra, the Tathagatagarbha Sutra, is really very early, the 2nd, 3rd century. It's after Nagarjuna, but not by much. And so it seems Trachea and Buddha nature both evolved alongside each other. The doctrine in Mahayana developed most fully in Yogacara, and the idea of the storehouse consciousness, which is the foundation of a lot of Trachea thinking, which in turn reinforces Trachea. They developed alongside each other. So the commentary here, is it Basham's or is it? It's really Shanti Deva's commentary, not so much Basham's because it's not in italics. What is it saying? Well, the commentary here. Here we go. Commentary. The three bodies are the one and the same for all Buddhas. All three reasons, basis, phenomena, indivisible, and so on and so on and so on. Trachea scriptures here taught the Dharmakaya, the truth body, is supramundane, a kind of Nibbana on speed, as it were, in contrast to the mundane, the conditioned nature of the world. The essence body cannot by nature be a composite. It's simple and unified. So what does it say about that? Because there is no tendency, particular to one Buddha, not to another. They act because the actions are common to all three bodies. So the body of essence is stable. It's kind of what it's saying here. The body, three bodies have threefold stability by nature. The body of essence is essentially stable by persistence. The truth body is simple, it's persistent, it's just there. Now, Basham doesn't comment on this extravagant Mahayana kind of ontological claims. It's weird that he doesn't, that there's this notion of ultimate reality. He's no interest in it. He's a materialist. He doesn't believe in this. But he's committed to naturalistic scholarship, which by its objective nature neither says it's true or false. Perhaps this is the verification falsification problem. Religion's neither true nor false, it's meaningless. Think about your religious language work you'll do at the beginning of year 13. So this claim that the Bodhisattva, being those who have accessed their Buddha nature, the ultimate truth, the essential body, tends to lean on claims of omniscience and perfection. Thus, anyone who is a Buddha can say anything different from another Buddha in the end. What an extravagance! But he's ignoring these extravagance. So our Mahayana thinking people, is this Mahayana Sutra Lankara, is it determinist? Is it libertarian? Is it compatibilist? You might get to a little bit of this in some of your philosophy. We don't do necessarily the free will debate, but it's relevant to afterlife studies and such. Given the nature of Trachea doctrine, does it lead to, is this persistence? We go back to this word, persistence. Persistence. Does that mean it's the Dharmakaya determines everything? Well, Basham himself is silent on whether he's a determinist, which he probably is, or probably some sort of compatibilist trying to hold to both determinism and free will. He merely is satisfied to narrate the debate here. And the final effect is to suggest that true Buddhas would and could not act differently. Well, does that not sound, all that notion of stability, does that sound a bit deterministic? Well, the Buddha was determined not to reject this, to say we're not bound by karma, we're free to make our own choices, to develop good or bad karma. Well, I'd say it's compatibilist. It's trying to have your cake and eat it, to be determinist and to believe in free will. Certainly that seems to be Shakyamuni's commentary, what he's saying here. Is the thesis of the unity of the Trachea not a slippery slope, however, from this compatibilist view to determinism in the same way that in the West, philosophical compatibilism, does it not slip into determinism? Very hard to know how not to slip into determinism. The body of bliss, let's think about that. The body of bliss phenomena unceasingly, and on the unceasing nature of phenomena does feel a bit determinist. The unity of the trachea is sometimes taught as a fourth aspect. And it is a slippery slope. Everything's stable. Everything's stable. And the Mahayana Sutra, Lankar Sutra, is typically heading in this sort of slippery slope way. Everything's unified. There's nothing. Religion likes to be unified and not diverse. So some are emphasizing free will, some are others determinism. What nature, and does this reflect divergent views about idealism, especially within Yogacara? Just by nature, let's just go back and do a little bit more on that. By nature, we can see it just there. The application of the two-truth doctrine differentiates between two levels of satya, meaning, or sakya, meaning truth, from the Buddha. There is the conventional truth, typically what only the Theravada can understand about even samsara and nibbana as real things, and the ultimate truth, which is everything is empty, everything is, even emptiness is empty, and all assertions are false. Well, is that assertion false? All that sort of fascinating philosophical stuff. By nature, everything's inherent, has no inherent existence. It's empty. And this is the application of the two-truth doctrine to existence, not just to humans. The extension of anatta from people to all reality. And here we're talking about most fundamental stuff, the doctrine of aseity. What is it that just is? What is that just is? And in Mahayana Buddhist terms, it's the Dharmakaya. But what is it? It's not anything. It has no inherent existence. It's eternal, immutable, unchanging, ineffable, beyond description. And Basham is quite happy just to let Shantideva comment on without his own interrogation, his own commentary, his own take on it all. He's not tempted to engage in such fascinating philosophical disputes and perspectives. So here developed is what Mahayana theology. So the whole notion of the celestial Buddhas, the kind of bliss, the body of bliss, and their experiences of phenomena unceasingly, suggests that they have us almost omniscience, and that they can therefore transfer merit and help others out of their omniscience and their great quantities of karma. How can, and it, I guess, tries to resolve the problem, how can the transcendent affect the immanent? Well, you have the bliss body. Is it in transcendent? Well, not entirely. The deities experience phenomena perhaps because they are just an emanation. That's the other thing. So it's a kind of both and, revelation and reason all sort of overlapped together. So what then is the application of the two-truth doctrine on rebirth and the transformation body? The transformation body. Let's go for yellow. Let's go for yellow. And by connection, the transformation body, once it's passed away, shows its metamorphosis again and again. Here, the belief in rebirth, Nagarjuna, reflects Sponberg's arguments, who quotes Nagarjuna, points out in his Madhyamaka, this is Nagarjuna, that samsara and nibbana are coterminous, although that's an English word that's Sponberg's term. The conventional truth is that Mahayana accept rebirth to every realm of pain, but ultimately they aren't accepting anywhere because there's nowhere to go and they aren't anywhere at the minute. We're neither born nor reborn. We only are. There's only here. So what is in the end, is this sutra? Just to pin it down, the Mahayana Sutra Lankara. So Maha meaning great, vehicle, Yana, discourse, sutra, Lankara, treatise on the self-realization of noble wisdom. Key ideas being sunyata, Buddha nature. Perhaps it was written by a Sangha in the 4th century. It's thought of as one of 9 great early Indian Mahayana sutras, revered especially in Nepal today. Very important in Vajrayana Buddhism. So the two-truth doctrine is key to this idea. It is the Buddhist doctrine of the two truths and differentiates between 2 levels of satya, or reality or truth. There is the conventional truth, which is the ordinary teaching of the Buddha. It's provisional, it's everyday, and then there's the ultimate truth by the Dharmakaya.